Hello everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Today I'm going to be milling out some dies for Cole Ironworks Press. A friend slash customer was looking at getting some new dies, some squaring dies for his press, but he didn't like the prices on the Cole Ironworks site, and he asked me if I could do it for cheaper, and I can. So I have a 6-inch fly cutter in here. I have a big chunk of steel. And K&T is set up and ready to go. So my friend wants a 2-inch square V and a 1-inch square V. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to mill 4 sides of this flat, this side, the bottom, and then each side that are contacting the jaws. And then I'm going to tilt it at 45 degrees. I will cut the V's, the 1-inch and the 2-inch. And then when I'm done with that, I'll slice it in half. That way all of the V's are perfectly in alignment. There's no issues with spacing or anything like that. This is just an easy way to do it. I have a 6-inch fly cutter, like I said, with a sharpened CCMT insert. I made it a little bit negative, just handle the cut better. It's running at 200 RPM. I've already started to take a cut, and it's a 0.7 feed rate, or 0.07 thousandths, 0.007. 7 thousandths per revolution, 7 thousandths deep cut. Nothing left to it but to do it. And many hours later, we have the block of steel here set up in the vise. I have machined 4 sides of it, the top, the bottom, and 2 sides. Those are the surfaces I need for referencing the angle. And I have it set in the vise at a 45-degree angle to cut the 45-degree V. I could have set the head at a 45-degree angle, but I want to use the knee for my depth, and while I could use the head at a 45-degree angle and move the table and the knee at the same amount, that's complicated. And this is super simple. The way I set it up in the vise at 45 degrees is pretty crude. I just used a combination square with the 45-degree side. I trust that this is 45 degrees, and I set it up here with no light at the top or the bottom reaching through. I then checked it with my new Craftsman angle gauge, and I'm within a half a degree on both sides. I don't really trust this side because I didn't quite machine every part of it, but I'm within half a degree on this side of being 45 degrees. Now the part is set down in sort of the valley of the vise, in the middle part of the vise, not the 2 rails on either side. That way it's sunk down a little bit more so that these jaws get a bit more bite on them. You'll notice I don't have the hard jaws in here. There's no actual jaws in it. That's just because this part is too big to run with jaws. I need to get either a bigger vise or, just run stuff like this that's bigger. So now what I'm going to do is, again, the long and arduous process of fly cutting the 2-inch V. I don't have an end mill or a face mill that'll reach down 2 inches, so I've got to use a fly cutter. I'm going to be going at 3 inches a minute, actually 3.5 inches a minute. That gives me a decent surface speed, 191 RPM. That's the max I can get without the cutter spewing fire. And I think 5 thousandths deep steps. I might try some 10 thousandths deep just to speed things up, but I'm going to go with 5 thousandths for the first couple and just kind of play by ear. So let me get it set up and start cutting. Well, I finally admitted defeat in a way, put an end mill in. I didn't want to use any end mills at first, not because I have anything against them, but because I didn't have any sharp ones. This one is actually kind of dull. All of my long reach 3/4 inch end mills are pretty dull. I need to get some sharp ones, but this here, which is about 400 thousandths worth of cutting, I did that in 1 hour. That's not a great material removal rate. So I decided that even though they're dull, I'll use one of these guys, and for the 1-inch V, I have some other end mills that are sharp, that are good carbide end mills that I can use for that, but this 2-inch one, I'm going to have to use a dull high-speed steel end mill. I will be flooding it with oil, and I'm going to go down 2 inches and just go over 2 inches. See how it does. Hopefully it's a hell of a lot faster. Hopefully this result is satisfactory. I'm going to be running it at 75 surface feet per minute and probably 5 thousandths per tooth. So let me fire it up and get it going. So I got the 2-inch V milled out. You can hardly see it under that mess of metal paste and what are supposed to be chips. This poor ragged end mill, look at it, it's been reground a couple of times. It's worn out, it's dull, it was screaming at me the whole time. That trooper of an end mill has milled its last. I almost want to give it a little funeral after going through all of this 4140. Now I got to clean up this rat's nest of chips, these nasty chips, and flip it over, get it aligned properly so that I can do the other 1-inch V. Instead of using that guy, I have some sharp 5/8 inch carbide end mills that have the length of cut to mill a 1-inch V. So I'll get that set up and bring you back. So I have everything set up now. The 5/8 inch carbide end mill is going to be spinning at about 1200 RPM. 5 thousandths per tooth again, so 12 1/4 inches a minute. I have it all set up. I just gotta cut it. So turn it on and get to work.
I was born in a suburban city. Well, I used to play baseball in concrete lots. As a teenage boy, I was none too pretty. Well, a hug at the door was as far as I got. But I moved to the country at 22. Tell me, what else could a poor boy do? Well, I found what I was dreaming of. Oh, how mountain girls can love. She said, bud, let me take you back to Stone County, where the whippoorwill sings in the hills and valley. The air is clean and the folks are keen on strawberry wine and pure gasoline. population of 95. I get lost inside her eyes. It's a dirt road uphill, all left turns. Get lost all night, I'll never learn. Well, she's round as a biscuit, busy as a bee. She's the prettiest thing you ever did see. Well, she's sharp as a thumbtack, deep as a cup. Takes pints of Budweiser to fill her up. She said, "Bud, let me take you back to Stone County, where the whippoorwill sings in the hills and valley. The air is clean and the folks are keen on strawberry wine and pure gasoline." Well, she's hotter than a fresh split fox in a forest fire. Every time she's gone, I'm a-wondering where she are. There's a Baptist fire coming out her guitar. Well, she's my little Ozark star. She said, "Bud, let me take you back to Stone County, where the whippoorwill sings in the hills and valley. The air is clean and the folks are keen on strawberry wine and pure gasoline." She's my strawberry wine, she's my pure gasoline.
Well, both of the V notches are done. All that's left now is to cut it in half. Now, I'm not going to show the rest of the building of this die. I need to get it out the door to the customer, and it's 1 a.m. right now, so I'm going to go to bed. Or I'm going to edit this video and upload it and then go to bed. But this is a simple way to create a set of V dies with multiple V's and have the V's line up perfectly. There's no way, whenever you do it in this fashion, for you to misalign the V's unless you weld this stub that goes into your Cole Ironworks press or weld the bolt hole pattern on wrong. Now, if you need Cole Ironworks dies, if you would like custom dies, I've made one other set, and they were pretty easy. They were a big flat 6-inch by 7-inch set of flattening dies or planishing dies for the same customer that ordered these guys. If you would like a set of Cole Ironworks dies, just let me know. Comment down below, send me an email at Hidden World Forge or hiddenworldforge@hotmail.com. I can make dies at a forklift time for pretty competitive prices. Even if you don't have a Cole Ironworks press, I can make dies for pretty much any hydraulic press. So, with all that being said, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and have a good day, or morning, or night, or whatever it is where you are.